All right. Next one. This one was the one that was DM'd to us, and this comes to us from Lindsay.
Yep.
The same Lindsay who told us that one story about her mom and dad, and they went camping, and they run into that man with the hat in the trailer.
In the trailer.
Yes.
Raining. Her uncle won't tell us. Stupid. Damn.
So this happened to her. This is her story. She said all growing up, her parents would flip houses. So this was in the 90s when economy was great. Her parents would often buy houses, fix them up, and then sell them. So she spent a lot of her childhood in empty homes, empty renovated homes. And she said it was a lot of wild things happened. So you could imagine like exploring all these different nooks and crannies. She's about 10 or 11, she said, when she first realized that she too inherited the gift from her mom. So in her words, she can't really like see full-on apparitions or anything. She's just very, very sensitive to energy and can like tell when something's lingering. But this is the first time she realized that. Mm-hmm. So there was a house that was for sale, and it was in a really affluent neighborhood. She said it was a ranch-style home, brick, had white wood trim, very pretty. It was on a hill. Her dad parks on the street because the realtor was there before, had parked in the driveway. So they park, they're getting out of the car. She's young, she's 10, and she's so excited. She wants to be the first one in the house, see all the rooms, you know? So she jumps out of the car and just sprints towards the door. And the realtor had left the door open and gone into the kitchen. And as she's running up the steps to the door, she said the second she hit the porch, she stops dead in her tracks. Because she's feeling something she's never really felt before. She said it was like her whole body was like seized and she was very nauseous. And she's like shook. And she said the closer she got to the house, the worse it got. So her parents come up behind her and her mom bends down and is like, "Sweetie, are you okay?" She's like, "I don't want to go in this house. I don't feel good. I don't want to go in this house." She said her dad kind of laughed it off, stepped past her, walked right in. And her mom, who also feels things, like knelt down beside her and said, you know, she didn't really feel anything at the time. And if it's okay, let's go in. She said, okay. So she holds her hand and they go inside. So they're walking around the house. She's holding on to both of her parents and they go into the kitchen and they start discussing all the particulars, like how much, you know, why it's so low under market value, all this stuff. And she's just sitting there waiting. And then when the realtor stops talking, she goes, "Are there ghosts in here?" And the realtor just starts laughing, but doesn't answer. So they continue to go through the house, and she feels a little more comfortable. So she lets go of her parents' hands. She's walking alone. And they're about to leave when they realize there's one more door, one more room they haven't gone in. So she walks right in and is looking around the room when she looks behind her where she didn't see, and there is a huge wooden wardrobe. And instantly she sees it and jumps back. And the realtor says, "Oh yeah, the house comes with the wardrobe." And the dad's like, "Why?"
Not the wardrobe comes with the house.
Ooh, you're right. No, the wardrobe comes with the house. You're right. And the dad asks why, and he says, I think it was just too big. You know, they couldn't move it. But so the dad walks up to the wardrobe and starts trying to open it, but it's locked. So he starts looking for a key. He's like looking around, reaches up and puts his hand on top. And as this is happening, she remembers she looked out the window because there was like a storm coming very far. And as she's looking out the window, a young boy pops up into the window and is staring at her. And behind her, her dad starts to violently try to shake the wardrobe open to get this thing open. And as she's doing that, the young boy looks at her straight-faced and shakes his head. And she turns and yells, "No, stop!" Looks back, no boy. So she screams, "Don't open it. We are not buying this house." She's 10, screaming, "We're not buying this house. We need to go." Her mom grabs her by the hand, takes her out to the car to try to calm her down. The dad talks to the realtor for a minute and leaves. So he comes to the car, and they're in the car, and they drive away. And the mom tells her, the second we walked into that last room, and right when I saw that wardrobe, I felt the same feeling you felt. And to this day, they have no idea what happened at that house.
Realtor said nothing to.
Nope.
I mean,
There was
if
no
you're trying to
internet.
sell the house, but yeah.
There was no internet. There was no database. And by the time there was internet and they remembered they could look it up, they said they couldn't remember the address. Yeah. But that's that.
Yo, if there's any houses that I'm like looking at and there's just free old wardrobes in it, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Bro, how ominous is that? I would be like, hell nah.
That is a staple in any scary movie.
That's wild.
There's a scene in The Conjuring where the young girl is lying in bed and she could hear something and it's like her wardrobe shaking. So she walks up to it. She musters up all the courage, tiptoes to the wardrobe, grabs the handles and whoom, opens, pulls them back, and there's nothing. She's like, oh. And all of a sudden the camera pans up and this demented ass witch is like on top of the wardrobe and is like and like jumps toward her.
Yep.
And dude, that wrecked me. That terrified me.
I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but first of all, you already know we moved around a lot growing up. And one time when we were moving, we went to look at a bunch of houses and I got super sick. And I don't get sick.
Yeah, no.
I got super sick, like throwing up and everything. And then we stopped looking at all these houses and decided to do something else. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of feel better now. And then ever since then, and you can verify this with any member of my family, my mom and dad would always be like, okay, we're going to go look at houses now, Sean. Do you want to come and tell us how you feel? Because they believe that if I get sick, they aren't supposed to move there.
Whoa, you're the canary in their coal mine,
Yeah.
dude.
Straight up, like 2 weeks ago, they were looking at houses and they called me and were like, hey, how are you feeling? And I was like, why? Are you looking at houses?
For real, bro?
Like 2 weeks ago.
They're serious about
They're
this.
serious. I'm dead serious. They're serious about this.
That's crazy.
It's the weirdest thing.
That's funny.
Castaways are superstitious, all right.
We a little stitious.